Class 1A always had each other's backs. They always had each other's backs. And that's one of the things I think is great about My Hero Academia is the fact that these characters, they went through so much and they always had each other's back. This moment at the end here was absolutely beautiful. Like all of the guys here just gathering together, and Deku spills the beans about like him losing one for all, basically. He had the Ember, but to fly over to Ochako, he used it up. And then them all coming over to help him. And then also coming over to help Ochako as well in her time of need. And then Aizawa was there as well. These guys always had each other's back. And it reminds me of my favorite... Okay, is in my top 5 favorite moments in all of MHA. It is actually... It's not when Ochako is at the top of the building telling all of the parents that they should believe in Deku and give him a chance. It's not that. It's the scene just before that when everybody's like... Because Deku goes on his Dark Deku arc where he just tries to do everything by himself. He's doing what a lot of guys do when they can't do something. They when they're going through something tough, they feel like they need to do it by themselves. He goes off, he does all of this Dark Deku arc stuff and has a lot of battles. But his friends from his class come over to him and say, Deku, you don't need to do this by yourself. We are here with you. And each one of them pours out and says, this is the moment where I really appreciated what you did for me, Deku. And everybody says something. Bakugo says something. Mineta says something. And that's one of the moments in the series that almost made me cry because I was so overwhelmed with emotion seeing Deku, who's such a positive character. And Shonen Oji that made a good video about how Okarun from Dandadan is a good display of modern masculinity in that he's not necessarily traditionally macho. And I think that Deku also falls in line with that because he's more considered. The crying is a bit much, but he is more considered and caring, and we saw the way he did that for Ochako in this episode. And I just think that it was so great to see Deku care for Ochako, and then the whole class care for him when he lost his powers in that final moment after this final battle. And then all of them come over to see her, including their teacher, Aizawa. It was just beautiful. That all of that was just so beautiful. I feel as though Deku is a good example. Yeah, that's what I was getting to. Deku is a really great example of more modern masculinity in a way, I would say. That was my point with the Okarun thing. I think Deku and Okarun are great examples of that. Now, the only problem I had with this episode, right? Because I was originally going to title this video, My Only Problem with... or my mixed feelings on a new episode of My Hero Academia. Honestly, when she started crying over Toga, I was just like... Honestly, like, it got to this point, I believe. Yeah. Where she's on the hill and she's crying like, oh, Toga... I never cared for Toga. I never cared for this character. So when Ochako was just crying at the top, I was just like, I don't care. But what I did care about is the fact that Deku comes over to her. And oh, this section is so beautifully animated when Deku's comforting Ochako. All of this section where he comes over to her is just done with such care. Thank you, Bones, for like bringing this out. This is all done beautifully. I cared so much about this, but at the same time, I wish that them two coming together like this wasn't the topic wasn't about Toga. I wish it wasn't, but it does make sense. They're kids. She just saw someone die. This is more realistic that she would feel some sort of weird emotions seeing someone die like that. It does make sense, and I'm glad Hirokoshi did this because My Hero Academia has always been a bit more realistic with certain issues. Like we saw in this episode where at the start they were talking about how they don't want to have another... Yeah, on this news report, right? They were talking about... here, right? They're talking about how they don't want another incident where there's another One for All and Shigaraki. So that's great. I just wish the conversation wasn't based around Toga because I don't like her, but it was cool to see Deku care for her so much. All of this was done so beautifully. This was just so magical. Like it was like a Disney movie, and it wasn't like I was at first I was gonna say Riz when Deku grabbed her hand and he was like, "Oh, holding hands helps," but no, you could tell he really cared for her well-being in this moment. It wasn't like this sort of sappy love. It was like this deep, deep sort of caring love for a friend and a lover, I guess, and it was really nice to see. This was great. Now, I've talked a lot about the ending. I've talked a ton about the ending, but there were so many good things in this episode. I think the new first years were actually really funny when they rolled up into the school and then these guys were like, oh man, Todoroki. And they fanboyed as much over Todoroki as I do. And then Bakugo even. And then Bakugo scared off the girls. I was watching a Teddy Slump video and actually I was in his live stream and he said Bakugo would just scare off the girls so we don't need to worry about him. This is so true. He's just like so angry at all of them coming in and praising him. And then this dude praises Deku. I think these first years were so cool to have in. And then they came in at the end because they were inspired by their senpais, the second years. They came in clutch. They were really nice. And I guess Cementos is their mentor, which is cool. I thought all of this stuff was just funny. I thought all of this was funny. And then Todoroki's like, I'll talk to them one-on-one. Todoroki's a nice guy. He's not like his dad. He's a nice guy. They're running away. And yeah, that was a great moment. That was a really good moment. And then this stuff with Spinner was super good as well. Because this is what I like about Horikoshi overall, is that he gave resolutions to each one of the villains to where they stuck to their guns on how bad they were. Like, he's sticking to his guns on how bad he is. But at the same time, there's this nice little moment where he's like, oh, I will tell the story of Shigaraki and all of the stuff that Shigaraki's done, right? And there's this one moment I love where he's like, Deku's like, make it a comic. And this is like Horikoshi's nod to how much he loves sequential arts, because he's a great sequential artist and a great artist in general. When Deku says, oh, make it a comic. And I love what Spinner says. Spinner says, yeah, I'll make it into a comic because the pictures will be great. Because no matter what nationality or, yeah, this is, pictures transcend both nationality and educational level. And that, I feel as though that's Horikoshi basically preaching the gospel of manga. Like, why manga and sequential arts and comics and all this nerdy stuff we're into is so great. Because this is a Japanese manga, but it's transcended. It's gone around to all over the world, which is so awesome. It's so awesome. Like, all over the world, people are talking about My Hero Academia and how much this manga has had an impact on them and this anime for the last 10 to 12 years, I believe. It's been a while. And it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So this was cool. The little talk with Spinner and then like Deku, their conversation, and Deku was just stoic. Like, Spinner's getting all big, holding Deku. He's like, the guy's like, I'll restrain him. And Deku's like, nope, don't worry about this. I've got this. He grabs him and Deku just doesn't care. Deku's just like, look, this is what I'm saying. Deku is great. He's considered, he's caring, but he can also be very like, this is super stoic. I like it. So the final thing is Overhaul. Like, again, like, I like that Horikoshi took time to give Overhaul, of all people, an ending. Overhaul got an ending. Like, his boss is here saying, look, you just went astray, dude. My boy, you deserve losing this because of all of the harm you caused that little girl. This was nice that Overhaul got a little ending. This was great. Like, so I think Horikoshi did a really good job with his villains, in that he completed every single one of their arcs really well. I wouldn't say any of his villains stand out to me as like the best villains ever, but I think overall all of them are pretty solid in terms of the mainline villains. Overhaul was great. Actually, Stain is my favorite. But Stain's not. Stain is more of an anti-hero than a villain, to be honest. So let's not include Stain in that. Stain's an anti-hero, but Overhaul was great. Shigaraki was cool. One for All was great. I think Toga was probably weak, but Spinner and all of those guys were cool as well. So, and Twice was cool. I just like that he gave each one of them their endings. But overall, I think I've been talking for a very long time. The day has come indeed. And, man, yeah, I've been talking for a long time. I think, wait, 11, not that bad, 11 minutes. But overall, this was a fantastic episode. I really, really did enjoy it. And I'm sad that next week, no more My Hero Academia. Like, next week is done. All we've got to look forward to Vigilantes. And Vigilantes, oh my god, Vigilantes is so good. It's so fun. So I'm happy that we're still getting that for another 2, 3, maybe even 4 seasons. I don't know how long that series is. 3 seasons would be nice, but 4 would be even better. So we're going to get Vigilantes, at least. I hope we get more. I need to watch the My Hero movies. I haven't seen any of them, and I'm seeing a bunch of Sakuga on Twitter that looks beautiful. So I need to watch those. So I hope we get another movie or something else from the mainline series as well, because I'm going to honestly miss My Hero Academia. This ending gets me so emotional where I see all of the little moments throughout the series. Oh, it's so good. So good. Oh, badass. The only thing that I am a bit like buzzed out about is that at this ending, right? Is this Deku? Is this person here? Who is this? It looks like Deku. Yeah, it looks like Deku. I don't know who that is. And then, like, they come out of this house, right? I'm going to pause it a few times because I don't want... Yeah, they come out of this house, and then he's got, like, this little weird thing here. So I don't know who this is. Which is a bit odd. But we'll find out. But final episode next week. Tell me down below what you thought of this episode. I know I've been a bit scatterbrained with this video, but I think I did a decent job with conveying my feelings. I'm happy with this video. I'm going to catch the last bit of Teddy Slump's stream and upload this, but I will see you most likely tomorrow with a One Punch Man video. But we'll see what happens with this channel, because I think I'm debating whether I'm going to do a big project or continue doing these smaller videos. We'll see, but I'm going to at least see you tomorrow with One Punch Man. Bye, guys.